dream. Dream where I murdered another version of myself. In it, I pushed myself off an overpass onto some train tracks. Train zoomed by. Yep, we've seen all this. Pinky nail, wish come true. I love her. Her cool demeanor, her mature smile, her alluring tics, all of it. Can I ever be like her? She taught me how to brew coffee just the other day. I want to brew just like she did as soon as possible. And that's why I tried becoming one with her. I've been feeling a lot better since the doctor gave me that medicine. Thanks to that I can actually sleep. However, strange things have been happening. Most of them are dreams. Clearly lost memories. Truth be told, I would have rather they stayed forgotten. In them, I hurt many people I loved. So because I want to come with them, I know hurting them does nothing to help, so there's nothing to do about it. I want to stand in their shoes. They're far more blessed, yet they were apart. True self. The sun was setting over the western mountains by the time I'd finished racing over to the White Lily Garden, Hachioji. I asked Mosky just to be safe.
前に来たのはここです。その時にナオちゃん、黒やナオリという名札も拾ってますから。
ここでユキコたちは育ったの。
Amy looked up at the building. Right by her side was Michire. She claimed she didn't want to see this place, yet had insisted I bring her along.
本当に良かったんですか？
山之内先生にも許可は取ったし、危険なことはさせないと約束はした。
There was always the chance she'd have another episode when we least expected it, that said.
私が見ているからさ。
Amy nodded.
行くか。
こちらから礼拝堂に入れます。
Mosky took point, leading her group. Chapel was quiet as the bottom of the sea. However,
誰？
stillness was quickly shattered by Yukiko's stone-cold voice.
ユキコ？
Umi nearly burst to a dash, only for Mosky to grab her in the nick of time.
待ってください。まだ。
母さん。
Yukiko's face warped with wide-eyed surprise for a moment, only to quickly be replaced by a glare of menacing countenance.
来ないで。
She was pinning Yukari to the floor, holding a knife to her throat. I froze in place. Now that I knew what she was capable of, that was all the more reason not to provoke her.
まさきも下がってくれ。
わかりました。
Mosky did as I asked, still holding Huimi in place. In exchange, I took a step forward.
来ないでください。
Took a deep breath and studied Yukari from afar. Damn, she really has no sense of danger. I haven't been able to find an opportunity to seize the knife had she been paralyzed by fear. What was I supposed to do when she was looking at me so sadly instead? There's only one way out of this. Gotta free Yukiko from her obsession.
茅原さん。いや。
I had to ensure Yukari's safety first. Just as I feared, Yukiko shook her head without so much as a moment's hesitation.
私は彼女と共にいます。
共にいるだけならば今までだってそうだろう。これからだって。ゆかりは君を嫌わないだろうさ。
Yukari nodded.
それじゃダメなんです。
ゆかりを刺しても君と一緒にいるようになるわけではないよ。
あなたに。
少なくとも今の君が君以外の何者かを演じていることくらいはわかるよ。
何のことですか？私は私です。
その混乱の元は何だい？他者の意識を取り込んだつもりになっていても他者の記憶だと思っているものは君の中にあるその人との思い出に過ぎないよ。
わけがわかりません。
Yukiko shook her head.
例えば今君はよく喋っているね。それは元からの君の人格なのか？
私は私です。
Yukiko kept stubbornly sticking to that story.
冬美さん。
I addressed Fuyumi without taking my eyes off Yukiko.
なんでしょう。
こういったユキコさんを見たことがありますか？
昔のユキコはよく喋ってくれました。ですが去年、ミエさんが亡くなった後は。
ミエさんというのは亡くなられた友人ですね。
ええ。
ユキコさん、あなたはその友人を取り込みましたね。おとなしくて物静かな性格はあなた自身のものではなく。
やめて！
Yukiko shrieked.
私はそんなことしていない。ユキコ、この前部室でコーヒーを入れてくれたわね。
Oh.
京子さんが刺された翌日に。
Oh. Yukari tearfully looked up at her friend.
知らない。そんなの知らない。
Yukiko violently shook her head.
私は。
And all of a sudden, she froze up like a car that ran out of fuel.
私は何も知らない。すべて捨ててしまったの。
ほう。それは誰の人格かな？織部時弘か。
Yukiko gasped and fell silent.
君が自身を偽るために被る人格の皮はとても薄っぺらいものだ。
私には彼女が必要なのよ。
Yukiko took her eyes off Yukari in her
君
frenzy.
のその行為は
I shook my head and tried convincing
君
Yukiko.
はその人が好きで惹かれているわけではない。
いや、違う。
Yukiko swung the knife.
ユキコ
Fuyumi darted forward and hugged Yukiko with crushing force. She stabbed her with that in.
ユキコ
Despite her protests, Yukiko didn't so much as budge an inch.
あなたも私と同じ苦しみを抱えていたのよね。
Fuyumi shed tears, she whispered into Yukiko's ear.
私も似たようなものだったからあなたの気持ちもよくわかるの。母さん
Yukiko wrapped her arms around Fuyumi.
母さん私
Those words aren't coming from one of her masks,
人
are
を
they?
好きになろうとする思いは間違っていないわ。ただその思いを伝える方法を知らなかっただけ。それは方法を教えることができなかった。お母さんのせいじゃない。
Yukiko feebly shook her head. Something's not right here.
結局私が間違っていただけ。
Yeah, something's not right. Fuyumi's about to get fucking murked, isn't she?
その人は選べない
Fuyumi's about to get fucking murked, isn't she? God damn it. She said that Yukiko swung the knife, right? It said that Yukiko swung the knife, but then Fuyumi raced forward and hugged her.
ありがとう。ユキコ
Yukari dashed over to Yukiko. A vivid crimson dyed Yukiko's abdomen. Fuyumi wobbled away from her, a blood-stained knife in hand.
ユキコ
Yukari cradled Yukiko in her arms.
ごめんなさい時坂さん。
Oh, she stabbed herself.
喋らないで兄さん手当てを。もう無理よ。
Yukiko reached for Yukari.
ダメじっとしてて。
Yukari looked at me with eyes swollen red.
兄さんお願いします。
I went over and kneeled down next to her. Yukiko's face was already pale as a ghost. Fuyumi must have stabbed her in the back when she hugged her. Ah. How? Did Fuyumi just have a knife on her then? Because how the hell did Yukiko get stabbed? Yukiko swung the knife. I'm guessing that gasp is when she got stabbed. I'm sorry. She didn't budge because she was stabbed in the back. Yeah, it's only after she came to her senses that she realized what was going on. When the hell did Fuyumi get the knife? And if not Yukiko's knife, where the hell did she get a knife? Yukiko must have let it happen. That's why she hadn't said anything. Well, I noticed sooner. No, that wouldn't have helped. There isn't a hospital around for miles.
影原さん。
兄さん小姉ちゃんにごめんなさい。
分かった。
I nodded.
ユキコありがとう時坂さん。
And with that, Yukiko went limp.
ユキコそんな
Yukari broke down sobbing.
茅原さん
Husky's shout was directed at Fuyumi. The knife fell from her hand.
話して私も死ななければみんなに申し訳が立たないのよ。私は母親としても人としても失格だったのよ。
君まで死なせるわけにはいかないんだ。
どうして大切な人を2人も殺しておいて今さら生きていたって。
あなたは生きて償うべきです。サツキの分も。
Fuyumi
影
gasped,
原さん。
stepped away from Yukiko and approached the
な
pair.
ぜユキコさんを刺し
もう終わりにしたかったんです。
Fuyumi feebly shook her head.
事故ではなかったのですか。 ユキコさんが持っていたナイフが。
いいえ、私の意志で。
そうですか。
That small flame of hope I'd clung to sputtered
あな
out.
たは生きて罪を償ってください。ユキコさんまで殺める必要はなかったはずなのですから。
ユキコの罪も全て私のものです。お願いです。死なせてくださいわ。それはダメ。
Michiru suddenly broke her silence and took Huyumi by the arm.
あなたを必要としている人が。
そうですよ、貝原さん。
そんな。
Huyumi shook her head.
私はまだ生きてる。
Huyumi turned to Yukiko. However, she had already
あなた
passed.
の娘さんはもう一人いるでしょう。彼女のために生きていかなければなりません。そうだろう、みちる。いや、さつき。
うん。嘘。それって。
後で詳しいことを六式誠に問い詰めますが、彼女はおそらく。
Masuki turned toward
あな
Michiru.
たは罪を償い、彼女の母親としても。
そんな。私はあなたのことも見ていないから知らない。
That was probably Michiru's way of saying she forgave Huyumi.
私は母親失格なんです。それでもあなたは母親です。ユキコにとっても
Yukiri came on over.
一緒にいてあげてください。母親がいない悲しみをこれ以上増やさないで。
Huyumi wept and hugged Michiru.
綾子、
Masuki addressed Huyumi by her real name.
僕も行くよ。僕の罪、君の母親だった人を殺めたことも償わなければならないから。
Just a fun family of murderers.
リヒトさん、それも私の行動が元になっています。
Oh, yes, I would have.
僕の罪は僕の罪だ。君が気にする必要は何もない。
ごめんなさい、リヒトさん。
Huyumi sobbed uncontrollably. The curtain had finally dropped. Yet, had failed to bring it to a satisfactory finale. No one had wanted things to turn out this way. And when all was said and done, one truth remained. I'd failed to save Yukiko. That was the sin I had to live with.
そう。
兄さん、帰りましょう。
Yukiri shrouded Yukiko's body with her coat.
こんな寒いところではユキコがかわいそうです。
ああ、帰ろう。
God damn. Umi Kayahara was arrested for murdering Yukiko. However, she couldn't be tried for her crime of killing Satsuki, the crime she committed as Ayako, since the statute of limitations had already expired. Yukiko was charged post-mortem for murder herself. And though Masuki confessed to murdering Saya Shikasa, the case was dismissed due to a lack of evidence. A year later, Masuki visited Huyumi in prison for the very first time.
お久しぶり。
Huyumi sat on the other side of a transparent divider.
すまなかったね。今まで来られなくて。
うんうん、いいのよ。
それはお互い様じゃないのかな。
そうね。
Huyumi fiddled with her bangs. She returned to her old hairstyle, from the days when she was known as Satsuki.
綾子と呼んだ方がいいのかな。
どちらでも構わないわ。もう茅原冬美である必要もないのだから。
俺はひな神を捨てた人間だからね。
そう。あそこはどうなったの？
さあね。ひな神製薬も人手に渡ってしまったからね。
本当に何もないところなのね。
昔は細々と養蚕をやっていたそうだけれどね。それも今では全国的に廃れてしまっているから。
It was easier to get a conversation going when it concerned something that pertained to neither of them.
あの子は元気？
Amy changed the
み
subject.
ちるかい？まだ入院は続いているけれど、
そう。
今度来るときに連れてくるよ。
ええ。そのことでお願いがあるのだけれど。
なんだい？
私が出所した後、あの子、さつきを。
それは本人の意思を尊重したいな。彼女が嫌ということはないと思うけれどね。
ありがとう。
Amy bowed her head.
私にはあの子がいてくれるだけでいいの。
俺の人生。
Didn't even have so much as a single dream anymore by this point. Though he was still working for the Tokisaka Detective Agency as Tomiyuki Masuki, can imagine a future beyond that.
ねえ、覚えてる？今日も雪が降っているわ。
Amy looked up at the ceiling. Masuki mimicked that motion.
それでも空は晴れているよ。
Those words came to him without even a moment's delay.
懐かしいわね。でもこれは私がサツキを裏切った言葉なの。彼女に約束を勝手に変更したことを気づかれたくなくて。
それで合言葉を作ったのか。
結局使われることはなかったけれど。
Amy hung her head.
今度来るとき絵を持ってくるよ。
え？
あの時に約束したまま見せていないからね。この辺りじゃライチョウはいないし、ずいぶん描いていないからどうなるかわからないけれど。
うん。待ってるわ。
Well, then I have a pretty good idea of what the true ending's going to entail. Gonna be a bit more of a happier ending. Maybe. Yukari strolled through a spring-hued Inokashira Park with Kahane. They were on their way back from visiting their departed friend's grave for the first time that year. While the news of Yukiko's death had seriously traumatized Kahane, she'd eventually managed to get back on her feet thanks to Yukari's daily support. However, she also lost a lot of memories, such as anything concerning the absence of her parents, Yukio, and even her days at the White Lily Garden. Reiji had commented that may have been for the best. At first, Yukari hadn't agreed with that sentiment, but she ultimately came around to that mindset after seeing Kahane return to the chipper girl she'd known and befriended.
じゃあゆかりっち、私こっちだから。
Kahane pointed at a fork in the path. She was currently renting a small apartment far from her original address.
ええ、それじゃあまた明日。
Kahane waved and went on her way. The wind whistled, ferrying cherry blossoms through the air. It was still cold despite the growing warmth. However, Yukari didn't feel like going home just yet. Rather, she wanted to watch the cherry blossoms fall for a little longer first. So she casually reoriented herself toward the park, heading for a relatively unoccupied area. A strikingly large tree towered over the edge of the pond. Yukari remembered it well. After all, it was the same spot where she'd saved that man who had attempted suicide a little over a year ago. A rug of snow had blanketed the ground back then. But now it was a field of green speckled with cherry blossoms here and there. Tomoyuki Masuki was resting atop that carpet, just like he had that fateful day.
桜が綺麗ですね。
ああ、
Masuki was holding a sketchbook.
何か書かれるのですか？
そのつもりだったんだけど、ずいぶん長い間描いていなかったからね。
Masuki got up and shrugged.
絵を描かれていたのですか？
That was news to Yukari.
ずっと昔さ。初めてここに来た時、水面に映る街灯の光を見て。
だとしたら夜に来なければなりませんね。
まだ夜は冷えるから勘弁願いたいな。それに今の季節ならばこっちだろう。
Masuki looked up at the cherry
絵
tree.
を見せる約束をしていたんだ。
He muttered that in a quiet voice.
もうずっと前の約束だから、その頃描いた絵が残っているわけもないからね。
それで絵を描こうと？
絵を描く練習かな。まだしばらくは慣れないといけないだろうからね。
それでは本番を書く頃には。
それもそうだね。
Masuki lay back down.
おお、これはいいな。
He raised his hands and formed a square with his fingers.
この体勢じゃスケッチも難しいけどね。
地面に鏡を置けば楽になりますよ。
なるほどね。しかし今はあいにく持っていないんだ。
私も持っていません。
Yukari took a seat next to Masuki.
やれやれ。
Masuki raised the sketchbook. His left arm was no longer bandaged. As such, he was holding it just
あり
fine.
がとう。
Yukari cocked her head at Masuki's unexpected exhibition of gratitude.
今自分がこうしていられるのは君のおかげだからね。
そうですね。
She couldn't deny that.
君にはかなわないな。
Masuki dropped his sketchbook onto his face.
書かれないのですか？
隣で見られていると緊張するからね。
では私は退散しましょうか。
冗談だよ。
And yet, he still got up
君
nonetheless.
にはいくら感謝してもし足りないな。
私は何もしていませんよ。
Yukari shook her head.
その後のことはすべて。
ありがとう。
Masuki bowed. Yukari turned his way and offered him a hand.
帰りましょう。兄さんがお腹を空かせて待っているでしょうから。
ああ、そうだね。
Man, Yukari's so pretty. She's cute and pretty. Love her. And there's our credits. No skipping? No skipping? No skipping. Karen was voice acted by someone named Karen. Go figure. Oh, you and Marika had the same voice actress. That's interesting. So that's the thing. I can't. Oh, Yoshimitsu and Shizuru, same voice actor. Kensei and So wow. Keigo and Hideyomi, Yuzuru and Saizo. Damn, there were a lot of people who held multiple roles, huh? When it came to like the smaller roles. Well, yeah, Sachiko and then unnamed character, unnamed character, unnamed character. So yeah, a lot of these people just had like background roles. But yeah, even I feel like that's... The story's not completely done there, right? Even I get that feeling, like, okay, sure. That's a nice little, you know, the end. But it definitely feels incomplete. So I feel like there's definitely more that has to be done with Nanako and Naori. There was that, the baby that was very, partial to Yukari and Reiji. Almost as if, maybe there was something there. Huh? So I feel like there's definitely more we gotta see out of that. For sure. Very excited to see what we get out of that. But yeah, like I said before, after this, I'm gonna use those save files. We're gonna go back, see some of the other bad endings, see how they all end up, and then we'll make a run for the true ending. After we see the true ending, there's 2 other endings we can check out to see how those play out. In fact, wait, what? There's other requirements, right? Oh no, I have to get bad ending number 2 to see both the true ending and like the super bad ending. Cause there's normal end, true end, and obsession. Wait, did I get the right ending? Yeah, no, this is right. That's the in this guide. There's like little CGs to like show, to like indicate what each ending is, and it says for the normal ending, it shows like Yukari and Masaki's hands touching in front of the cherry blossoms, which I'm like, isn't that what I just saw? But I can't get the normal ending until I've seen ending 8. Like. Yeah, no, I have to hit ending 8 before I can get the normal ending. Well, I guess that may be according to the original release of this game. Maybe that has changed in recent times, I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. Because yeah, the CG that it uses for ending number 8, which is the first one you're supposed to get, is what we see right here, this screen with Yukiko and all the particle effects and whatnot. Oh, hello. Oh, new title screen. That's nice. Also, I have access to my gallery now. Yes. Okay, there's no sex up here, right? There's Kyoko sex. Never mind. Get me out of here. I have access to my gallery now. I know that doesn't matter for any of y'all out there, but that means, fuck, getting my thumbnails done is gonna be a lot easier. But yeah, so it's either gonna be a quick transition or a new video, but it's not quite the end of this recording session. Well, should it be? Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna keep going. I got plenty of time. I'm gonna keep going. At least to see ending. We'll see bad ending number 1. And then after that, I'll probably have to wrap up the recording session. But I'm going to take a quick break right here. So, like I said, either mayhaps a quick transition, mayhaps a new video. But regardless, when I come back, we're going to start up again and go for some bad endings to see the very unfortunate ways the story could have played out. So, until then. Alrighty. And we're back at it again. The more of the shell part 2. It's time to go look at some bad endings. This one, our first opportunity comes after the death of Yuka while we are in Hitogata. We can make the obvious choice that this killer is after Ayato Hinagami's bridal candidates. Or, if we want to see a twisted place this story could go, we can pick one of the other options. And we recommend The Curse of the Real Lord Hina. We're going to become believers of Lord Hina. I suppose. What if this is the curse of the real Lord Hina? Though I denied the possibility on numerous occasions, I couldn't actually prove curses didn't exist. Common sense dictated it was impossible. The settlement seemed a tad disconnected from the very notion of common sense. However, proving this would require looking into whether the victims ever worshipped the false Lord Hina. I lay down in my futon. Let's think this over a little more. I'll decide my plans for tomorrow. Okay, and do I just keep skipping then? Oh no, this is unread text that we keep reading, baby. Found myself in a deep sleep. So?
黙って動かんか。しばらくは起きんはずだが、気をつけてな。
People were speaking in hushed voices by my bedside. Tried to identify them, but my muscles refused to move. Oh! I see, we got the muscle relaxant treatment, huh? My body was still asleep. That was over half my brain. Am I dreaming? No, these voices sound pretty clear for a dream.
やめてよ、おばあちゃん。こんなのダメよ。
Oh, and you has to see it?
お前はまだ知らんだろうが、こうするしかないんだよ。だからって。
Sounds like you hoot to me. So then, will that make this other voice the proprietress of this inn?
いいからお前はあっちへ行ってなさい。
My body shook. Felt like I was being rocked in a cradle. What's going on? Is this really a dream? Shaking stopped. Seemed I'd been thrown somewhere. Well, honestly, it was hard to tell since I couldn't feel anything.
やれやれ、気が進まんの。
Unless that's Saizo, maybe.
早くしておくれ。片付けもあるんだからの。
Voices belong to an elderly man and woman. Something wasn't right here. Even the worst of nightmares didn't leave me feeling this uncomfortable.
しかし、わしらがたたりを起こす側になる
Yeah,
とは
that's
の。
Saizo, not so. Enacting the curse. As in, future tense? Or is something being dragged toward me? The hell's going on?
さあ、やっておくれ。
From what I could tell, I was all but certain the target of this. I was all but certainly the target of this curse. If this truly is a dream, I just have to wake up. But what if this is real? However, despite all my best efforts, my body refused to budge. And unfortunately, none of my senses worked apart from hearing, and I couldn't see or feel anything that was going on. The fact that I couldn't tell I was shaking before meant that my semicircular canals were probably still working, at least. Wait, I don't have time for this. Gotta wake up.
Yep.
My eyelids opened due to some sort of inertia. What I saw was my own headless torso. God damn. Alright, there's bad ending number 1. Just get straight up fucking decapitated. Well, that was quick. Alrighty. Alright, well. Next one, I guess. Moving right along. Okay, this happens when? Oh, this happens like at the same exact time. You say that you choose that, oh yeah, Ayato's bridal candidates are being targeted. But then all of a sudden, we're just like, actually, we should look for Toko instead. Yeah. All right. And we need to look for Toko anyway to see the other 3 endings that are involved after the 7 bad ones. So by all means, let's go look for Toko. See where that takes us. Yeah, that's right. Turned on the lights and got dressed as I geared up to hit the road. Now that I'd made my decision, I figured I hadn't a moment to lose. After all, if I waited for the next morning, or this morning, technically, I might have changed my mind. Plus, it'd be best to go when no one would find me. I was abandoning my current case. Though I knew that'd cause a whole lot of trouble, it was still something I had to do. After all, I'd kept her waiting for nearly 2 years already. Okay, so this is after he comes back from Hitogata. Right, and this is probably, if I had to remember correctly, this is probably when Toji tells him about the book, and then he gets all riled up and just takes off, huh? Snow from above blanketed me in my surroundings as I made my way to my car. Sure, it wasn't ideal driving weather, but the trains weren't running at that hour, leaving me with little choice. I threw a giant suitcase into the back seat. I wasn't planning on coming back for quite some time. Now that I was abandoning my job, I couldn't dare show my face till I had something to show for it. Suddenly the front door opened.
兄さん、
Yukari stepped outside.
悪い。起こしちまったか。
こんな時間にどこへ？
ちょっとな。
Aw.
雪だって降っているのに
そう心配するなよ。
心配しますよ。
ちょっと出かけてくるだけだって。
着替えをたくさん持って。
Damn, she noticed.
私が本を見つけたからですか？
She even realized why I was doing this.
それは違う。遅かれ早かれ、この決断はしなくちゃならなかった。
Indeed. I should have done this a whole lot sooner. But deep down, some part of me had probably given up. That was why I'd put it off for nearly 2 years.
皆さんには何と言えばよろしいのですか？
謝っておいてくれ。事件は正木と当時がいればなんとかなる。
無責任ですね。
分かってるさ。
I got in the car.
当てはあるのですか？
Yukari walked up to the window.
それを見つけるのが。
I reached out and ruffled her hair.
止めても
Aw,
無駄なんですよね。
Kitty. Tears trailed down her cheeks.
悪いな。
I wiped them away.
何？しばらく留守にするだけだ。なるべく早く帰ってくるから。
はい。
Yukari wiped her eyes and backed off. The sound of the engine echoed through the silent neighborhood.
じゃあ、行ってくる。
いってらっしゃいませ。
Oh, god damn it. Not Yukari. She's too sweet for this, you bastards. And then it's just game over. And why you gotta make me feel like shit like that, huh? And then 4, 5, and 6 all load from the same spot. You just have to make certain choices. Alright. Alright. So I believe I load up this one. Yes. Who are we telling? Okay. So Yukari is asking... Yeah, Masuki came by to ask Yukari something. To ask her questions. Oh, and Toji, that's right. Toji's there as well. Choice, of course. Alright, so now we make the choice whether or not to tell her that Kohane is involved in this situation. And apparently there's 3 different endings that can spawn from not telling her. So without further ado, let's not tell her.
すみません
Masuki bowed. Couldn't risk putting an innocent bystander in danger.
そうですよ。
Yukari sighed.
彼女を探しているのだが、自宅以外でどこか行くあてなどは
Right,
知ら
and
ない
if you don't tell her, you don't find out about the acrostic poem.
お家以外わかりません。今日は日曜日で授業もありませんし。
普通に出かけているだけであれば問題はないのだが。
But I probably didn't know she was in danger after all. Likewise, the culprit shouldn't have known her identity, at least not yet. However, it was only a matter of time now that Reiji had sown the seeds.
最近小羽の様子が少しおかしかったのと関係するのでしょうか。
おかしかった
ええ、しきりにユキコのことを気にかけていて。
Oh, here's something new. Could you spoke up when the pair was to
Nanda.
leave?
いえ、
Okay.
冬美さんは保育所にいるのかもしれませんね
しかし我々の目的はあくまで鳥居小羽を見つけることだ。
手分けして探しますか
固まって行動した方がいいだろう。
鳥居さんを探していますこちらに来ませんでしたか
鳥居さん。
ここで考えていても仕方ない。どこかの場所を示しているのは間違いないのだろうから
Okay, keeps cutting to
すぐ
new
にでも
things
探しに
when
行くべきだろうな。
people don't understand what the hell's going on. But yeah, let's look at this poem.
そうですね
There's no time for us to waste.
私も手伝います。
Sure.
茅原さん
ユキコが娘が関わっていることなのに見て見ぬふりはもうできません。
ですがこの保育所のことは
私がいますから
Ah,
心
what
配い
the
り
fuck
ま
did
せ
you
ん。
gave? Nanako regarded the group, holding her sleeping baby all the while.
ごめんなさい、沢城さん。いいのよ。今は何かしていたい気分だから。
あなたが来ることは構いませんが。
Toji stopped herself there. Masuki figured she couldn't bring herself to tell Huyumi that this might be dangerous. She probably wanted her to just think that they were looking for Kohane, nothing more. After all, she was already worried enough as it stood. There was no need to fuel those flames even further. All Masuki could do was protect her if something went wrong.
手分けして探そう。お前は彼女と一緒にいてくれ。
わかりましたでは
Where could Kohane be, though? Okay, and then we still make the trip up to the Girls' Academy. Masuki seized the bars of Oba Girls' Academy gates. Fortunately, they were bolted shut and gave him no purchase. Huyumi, who had been circling the grounds, returned at that exact moment.
裏口の方から入れそうね。
本当にここにいるのかはわかりませんが
Masuki surveyed the school's exterior from behind the gate. None of the lights were on, naturally.
でもここだと思ったのでしょ。
そうなんですが
For a moment, Masuki could have sworn he'd seen something moving on the other side of a second floor window.
どうしたの？
Masuki pointed at the window in question.
誰かいる。ユキコ？
Huyumi was about to race inside when Masuki swiftly snagged her
待
arm.
ってください青木さんを待った方が
Toji was off searching someplace else in town. She'd probably come by the school as well eventually, but it seemed they didn't have time to wait.
でもユキコがいるかもしれないのに。
落ち着いてゆっくり行きましょう警備の人などに見つかってもいや
Masuki snuck into the school ahead of Huyumi once he'd finished remonstrating her. The pair wandered the desolate hallways. The only sound was the floorboards creaking with each step they took, so they couldn't afford to run.
2階はこっちですね
Masuki and Huyumi snuck up the squeaky stairwell. However, all that greeted them at the top were more dark hallways. Masuki headed in the direction of the classroom that was home to that window.
待って。
Huyumi suddenly tugged Masuki's sleeve.
何が
Masuki followed Huyumi's gaze to find a dark figure standing before the classroom in question. First she thought it was a shadow, but no, they really were garbed in black.
ミコ
The robed figure turned Masuki's way in concert with this involuntary outburst. Never forget that demonic mask. Same one he'd seen the Oracle wear in that festival right before everything began to fall apart. A moment later, the masked figure turned swiftly aside and darted into the classroom.
待って
Fumi gave chase. The Oracle had been wielding a dirk housed in a wooden sheath. Now's not the time to worry about making noise. It was with that thought, Masaki sprinted in the classroom up to Huyumi. Kana and Yukiko were in there, just as suspected. The Oracle literally had their backs against a wall.
ユキコ
Huyumi darted right past the Oracle. The dirk drew a path through the air. Huyumi veered to the side.
冬美さん
Masaki tackled the Oracle from behind. As it turned out, they were far lighter than he'd expected. The Oracle swung their dirk. However, its blade struck not Masaki. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But Kohane, digging across her back.
この
Masaki pushed the Oracle to the ground, seized their arm, and knocked the dirk out of their hand.
冬美さん
Masaki looked up at Huyumi. She had a hand pressed against her neck. No! Blood poured forth from her fingers, showing no signs of stopping.
母さん
That's fucked. That's fucked. Yukiko crouched before her mother.
ユキコ怪我はない母さん大丈夫そうね
With that, Huyumi pitched forward and collapsed.
母さん
Yukiko shook her mother over and over, paying no heed to the blood seeping into her clothes. Toji suddenly burst into the classroom.
何があった
She wasted no time hurrying over to Huyumi.
これは
Toji bit her lip.
母さん
頸動脈をやられているこれはもう
Yukiko hovered above Huyumi and wept.
まさき犯人は
今抑えているこいつです
The Oracle offered no resistance, perhaps because they knew it was over for them. But Masaki could only speculate.
そのまま抑えておけ
Toji checked Kohane.
気は失っているようだが傷はそう深くない
Damn, of course the wound
救急車を呼ん
shall
で
on Kohane. Toji surveyed the room before realizing she was the only one free to look for her phone.
そいつを縛るぞ
はいおい立て
However, the Oracle didn't budge even after Masaki loosened his grip. Don't tell me.
仮面を外せ
Masaki did as Toji asked. And the face beneath was Karen's.
カレン
Masaki brought his face over to check up on her, only for his nose to abruptly sting with the stench of like almonds. Oh, what? What is it, cyanide? Isn't that the one that smells like almonds?
仮面の裏側に
Yeah.
自決用の生産を仕込んでいたようだな
Mm-hmm. Knew she was fucked, so she just fucking bit it. So if that's the case, why the fuck didn't she do that when Reiji tricked her? Whatever. Toji pressed her fingers against Karen's neck after checking the mask.
こと切れているな
自分の
そうか
Toji nodded and got up, as if she figured just about everything out from those two words alone.
警察と救急車を呼んでくる
Toji left the classroom. Masaki cradled Karen's body in his arms. Why? Why would she do this? Masaki hung his head and stared at her lifeless face until Toji finally returned with policemen and paramedics in tow.